Back then I had no coach, no mentor. I wasn't investing in my skills, no solid plan. I was just throwing it up against the wall. Splat. See what happens. Eventually I'm going to get duplication. Eventually something's going to happen. Eventually I'm going to make it. And then I realized that I needed to do something. The day I decided to go pro, let me tell you about that day. The day I decided to go pro. I thought back to exactly the moment it happened. I don't remember the city I was in, but the convention before hurt me. I went to every convention, and I'm going to talk about events later, but I went to a convention. It was in Orlando, Florida. I just saw some pictures, old pictures of it last week. Remember photos you actually had that you looked through? You know, stick together. Remember blurry bad photos? We just delete them now, but back then we had to print them out. But I went to this convention and I was very ambitious, and most of everything that I did in my life was fear-based. I was filled with fear. I was afraid I was going to miss it. I was afraid I was going to miss out. I was afraid that people were going to look at me bad. I was afraid that the train was leaving the station and I wasn't going to be on it. And I went to this convention, and this company back then had a profit-sharing program. And what ended up happening, and nobody knew about it. They just brought in the top distributors in the company. And they're having a little top distributor meeting, and then bang, the doors fly open, and a marching band comes in. Boom, 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 da-la-la-la. Confetti. And they pass out checks, big checks, for profit sharing for all the top leaders. Exciting story, right? I wasn't in the room. I hadn't earned my way into the room. I was in the hall, looking in, watching it happen. And it hurt bad. I remember going to dinner with one of my mentors, Mike Nelson, that night. And Mike he was holding court. See my check. This can happen for you too. It's awesome. Everybody else was really happy for him. I was not happy for him. I was sad for me. I felt like I missed it. I felt like I failed. I felt like I was... It was like in that movie Field of Dreams, when Moonlight Graham says it's like coming this close to your dream and having it walk by like a stranger. So I was depressed. I was sad. I was still working hard. But it was the night before the next convention. And I traveled to this next convention, and I was watching some news program. And on this news program, there was this obscure expert. You know, it's like they find an expert on these strange things. Like, you ever see like Storage Wars or Pawn Stars or any of those shows? You know, when they're trying to value their weird thing they found, and they go to the Persian rug expert, or they go to the 1800s stamps expert, or, you know, find china from the 1920s expert. There was one of those experts on the show. And I was like, how does somebody become an expert in that? And what went through my mind was, well, I suppose they read everything that was possible to read. They talked to every expert that there possibly was. They looked at all the books. They surrounded that topic in every single direction until they were the expert. And if somebody was going to call somebody, they call them. So, you know, I thought, how does that happen? So that was not my day. The day was the next day at the convention. I was watching leader after leader walk across the stage. Rock star after rock star. I'm still in the audience. Still depressed, still in pain from the last convention 3 months earlier. Saying, what's going through my mind, I'm thinking about the expert from last night, and I'm watching rock star after rock star that I couldn't see any discernible difference between me and them other than their check was huge. I was willing to work hard. I was willing to do the stuff. And it was like getting hit by lightning. Literally, something clicked almost audibly in my brain. And I said, wait a minute. I could become an expert in network marketing. I could. Just like that obscure expert from last night. I could learn the skills. I could start today and I could learn how to find prospects and become one of the world's best. I could learn how to invite people, become one of the world's best. I could learn how to present and become one of the world's best. I can learn how to follow up and be one of the world's best, answer any question, be one of the world's best. What have I been doing? I've been focused on timing and luck and positioning, and I haven't been focused on becoming an expert. Eric, what have you been thinking? At that moment, I could do these things, read, learn, study, surround myself with like-minded people, invest in the skills no matter what it took. I could get a coach or coaches. I could seek out the best. And nothing could stop me. That was oh my God, nothing can stop me. Politics can't stop me. The company can't stop me. My upline can't stop me. My stupid downline can't stop me. Nothing can stop me. I'm in control starting now. It was awesome. And what happened? My fear went away. That moment. My fear was gone. I said, you know what? It might take me a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I'm like 27 at this point, 28, whatever. 27 probably. My fear went away. And I still had intensity, but it was a relaxed intensity. I still had big goals and dreams, but I knew how I was going to get there. I didn't have to count on somebody else anymore. I didn't have to be dependent anymore. I just said, I'm going to be free. I'm going to be free.